Not as much as I used to. Who has time to slow their thoughts and bask in tranquility? I prefer staring out the window of my drawing room, brooding on matters outside of my control. It's hard to find good help, and I'm not quick to trust anyone who'd work for me, present company excluded. I can worry about upkeep once my family name is restored. Until then, this manor is a base of operations. Hideous, isn't it? I've been meaning to have that thing removed, maybe jettisoned into the sun. Spacer's Choice agreed to double Mother's research budget if she subjected her family to product placement. I swear those eyes follow me wherever I go. Very well. If there's anything else, you have my attention. The Ambrose family comes from old Earth money. We were pioneers, inventors, and chimerists. Always at the top of our field, never lagging behind. If there's anything else you'd like to know, speak on. A goodbye recording? I don't understand. Law, but I think you're right. Mother left that phonograph because she knew something awful might happen to her. She knew Spacer's Choice wanted her silence. It's possible, but in the end, she never found the words. We have to find that journal, Captain. And when we do, Spacer's Choice will rue the day they crossed my family. Ah, yes. I've scanned her old logs. But I'm afraid they haven't given up anything I didn't already know or suspect. If you have any questions, you can trust me to answer them. I gain nothing by leaving you in the dark. Lucian was Mother's point of contact at Spacer's Choice. I'd call him high-ranking, but I don't think his job had a rank in the traditional sense. He once tried to recruit me to work on Gorgon, but of course Mother wouldn't hear of it. I never forgave her for that. A little bit of everything, I suppose. Manage personnel, keep an eye on budgets, see that goals and expectations were well defined. Chemistry may be my passion, but Spacer's Choice recognized my knack for administration. I would have taken the job and perhaps even enjoyed it. And risk losing one of the colony's greatest minds to Auntie Cleo? I think not. No. In their estimate, I'm certain Mother was worth 10 of me. They did the math, and I came up short. Did anything else in Mother's terminal glue your eyes to the screen? I so wanted to avoid opening that wound. Now here we are. Father was exposed to some of Gorgon's more caustic chemicals. I don't know how, but I suspect that Mother brought her work home. I don't know. It's possible that Mother carted him off to Gorgon for her studies. That, or she killed him and buried him under the floorboards, or bricked him behind a wall. I wouldn't put anything past Olivia Ambrose. He never defended me against Mother, never even tried to challenge her authority. Of course I care. I adored my father. But what's done is done. There's no two ways about it. Mother was vicious, and that's saying something in Halcyon. By that point, I was already living in Byzantium, trying to get out from under my family's shadow. You're very kind to consider my well-being, but if I'd been exposed, we'd be having a very different conversation. By that point, I was already living in Byzantium, trying to get out from under my family's shadow. You're very kind to consider my well-being, but if I'd been exposed, we'd be having a very different conversation. Yes? Of all the intrigue and mysteries surrounding my household, that is what interests you. I do enjoy painting. I haven't indulged in some time, but it's a pleasant enough diversion. I honestly don't think I've been at it long enough to have a style. Painting is something I enjoy on the side, not something I chase to perfection. We Ambrose ladies have a way of ruining the things we love by committing ourselves to them. I've always been partial to Truth Emerging from the Well to Shame Mankind by Jerome. That painting speaks to me. It shows how nothing stays hidden for long. Your curiosity is charming, but do remember to focus on the job at hand. You do that, and thanks for your attention to detail. If Mother and I shared anything, it was our love of chemistry. Chemistry is a desire to understand matter, the very foundation of our existence. What Ambrose could ignore such a tempting lure? Yes? The pleasure is mine.
Please remember, this unit as it was before the fall.
We are now in orbit above Gorgon.
Analyzing location. The Sprat Shack. Error. Furman suction nozzle not attached. This unit is unprepared for specialized eradication procedures.
Experiencing evacuation anxiety? Spacer's Choice recommends Zero G Brew. A ale that's good for what ails you.
I got supplies if you need them. No one lasts long on Gorgon unprepared. You looking for supplies, stranger? Let's stock up here. If you run low on bullets out in Gorgon's far reaches, there ain't no one round here liable to help you out. Let me know if you're looking for something particular. You mean you came out to this asteroid without knowing nothing about it? Me too. Heard it was wild here and couldn't resist. Trouble is, if you wander off to somewhere you oughtn't be, like way out in Gorgon's farthest reaches, odds are slimmer of your bits finding their way to my pockets. If you want my advice, stick close to the Sprat Shack, unless you fancy having your limbs torn off and eaten. All right, you know you better than I do. Just be sure you watch out for the Marauders. That's the #1 thing. Oh, and the Mance. You watch out for Marauders, Mance, and Charles from accounting, and you'll probably be fine. Only the meanest Marauder on Gorgon, and also anywhere else. That man is crazier than a bag of canids and twice as likely to bite. He will bust your head open like an overripe mock apple if he so much as sees you. I ain't joking. He'll snap you in half like stale bread noodles. Sorry, been a minute since I last ate. Charles from accounting is like... Imagine if you took 3 of the most howling mad Marauders you could find and mashed them together. That's Charles. That and a rocket launcher. Did I not mention that? Right, sorry. He's got a rocket launcher. Couldn't say. He kills anyone who gets close enough to ask. Look, long story short, you do not fuck with Chuck. Best to avoid the Marauder camp entirely. That's my 2 bits on the matter. Huh? Oh, you don't gotta worry about that. It's got something to do with that scrapped Spacer's Choice project from way back. Damn alarm's been hollering at us for 5 years if it's been a day. You know, I don't dream anymore. It's all, please evacuate in an orderly fashion. I won't stop you if you want to have a go at it. But so you know, it's gonna take more than giving that control terminal a good old-fashioned pummeling. I know, because even Von Hoffman couldn't bash it in. And I seen that tough son of a gun throw a man clean across the Sprat Shack one time like he were a toss ball. Only that Spacer's Choice shut it down in a big hurry. From what I heard, some of their folks got left behind even. Don't seem like the project ended well. Found a pickaxe in the mine like none I've ever seen before. Could be awful useful if you're the violent type.
Come here. Let's have a chat. All right, inspection time. Look at my eyes for as long as you can without blinking. Starting now. Good. Look up. Now look down. You're doing swell. Now, name and occupation. Good enough for me. You're cleared to pass. That was a sanity check. If you had changed like the others, it'd be in your eyes. You'd also be drooling, cursing, and making a mess of the place. Welcome to the Sprat Shack. You can head on downstairs. Every day, salvagers and scrappers set out to comb the ruins and make their fortune. The ones who come back, they aren't always the same men or women who left. They change. Never for the better. First, they get real twitchy and paranoid, shouting at folks who aren't there. Then they smell like they soiled themselves, on account of how they soiled themselves. After that, they're gone. Nothing but animals wearing human skin. Seen it happen myself. It's never pretty. This is the Sprat Shack, the most remote watering hole in the system. Rule number 1, no fighting. Rule number 2, wipe your feet on the way downstairs. We're the only hospitable place on this rock. I want to keep it that way. That's why we have rule number 3. When people change, they stay outside, where they belong. Just don't ask me to dance. Something bad happened here. Spacer's Choice was developing chemicals. The kind with nasty side effects.
Can this colony have one research facility developing something without horrible, face-melting side effects? Is that so much to ask?
Marauders outnumber the rest of us 10 to 1. Either they came from Gorgon, or something draws them here. I don't know which is worse. This place is under a dark cloud, stranger. That's all I know. If you want the history of the Sprat Shack, talk to Lex behind the bar. This is a sublight bar, so most of our regulars come to plunder the old labs. The facility's locked up behind miles of red tape, so progress is slow. A lot of time to drink and reevaluate, then venture out and try again. Bouncer, bodyguard, law enforcer. I make sure the Sprat Shack gets only the highest caliber of clientele.
Highest caliber of what? Is he talking about guns?
We get a lot of brand-loyal corporate types, and a lot of cutthroat freelancer types. Both sides have their share of dirty scoundrels. And I hate dirt. Stay cool.
Now this looks like a real dummy. Hey, I wonder if they got those floorboards that creak when a stranger walks in.
That was my salvage, Trixie. You had no right to it then, and you've no right to it now.
I risked my life sneaking around Marauders to claim that wreck. And I didn't see your name on it.
Now you've done it. Eat fist!
All right, that's enough! This is a family establishment! You want to make a mess? You make it outside!
But this was personal, Lex. It's a question of salvage. That wreck was gonna make me a fortune.
Now you two listen, this is my place. While you're in the Sprat Shack, you'll sit quietly or I'll forbid you to come here at all. Is that understood?
Fair's fair. I'll have a stout, and we'll settle this later on our own terms.
It's no good to leave a fight unresolved. If I don't do something, these two are gonna be at each other's throats. Would you do me a favor and weigh in as a third party? I can use an unbiased set of eyes on the problem, and an outsider like you fits the bill. Freddy, Trixie, go on and make your case to the generous stranger.
I'll start, seeing as I'm the one who's been most wronged in this equation. So, just up the road and due east of here, there's a shipwreck lodged in the mountainside, right? I staked my claim on that wreck. Then I wandered in for a drink. An hour later, Trixie swaggers in bragging about her salvage. Ugh, the nerve of some people. I climbed on top of it and called out in my loudest voice, "Finders keepers!" What if I were to sweeten the deal? Say the salvage is mine, and I'll give you a share of the finder's fee.
Bullshit. That ain't fair. When I found the shipwreck, there weren't no salvage mark. See, the whole area was teeming with bloodthirsty marauders. So I snuck around and added my tag, clear as day so no drunken idiots could claim the salvage out from under me, Freddy.
For the record, when I heard the marauders coming, I left. Trixie must have set her mark down after me.
Quit leading the prosecution, Hullhead. Anyway, that's my story, sir.
In all my years, I've never heard a more contentious argument. I don't envy your shoulders for bearing the weight of responsibility. You've heard it from them both. So, who gets the salvage?
Thank you. Law, it's hard to get a fair trial in this sprat-fucked colony.
And this is the thanks I get for kindly offering to grease your palm? I swear, there's no justice anymore.
Here's a 6-pack on the house, plus your fee. Maybe now we'll finally get some peace around here for a change. I'll write to Lilia Hagen in the corporate office on Groundbreaker. She'll get some haulers to drag it away. It'll take a while. Nothing happens fast around these parts. But at least the salvage would get a good home. A little too often if you ask me, but that's the sublight way. Anything worth doing is worth fighting over. Come and chat if you're ever feeling thirsty.
Oh, boss. I was hoping for a scuffle. I had a bottle ready and everything. Groundbreaker never had bars this nice. They got balconies and everything.
What have you got there?
Adrenatime, I think. I found some in an old busted crate.
You're just gonna take some drug you found in the garbage?
It's not some drug, it's adrenatime.
I don't see a label.
If it wasn't safe, it wouldn't be in a syringe.
I can't argue with that. So, how you feeling?
Good.
Entering quiet mode.
Hey, marble! Oh, wait. Nope, that's a human eyeball.
Jerome would have loved this place. You don't look like one of the salvagers, no? Don't really seem like the type. You've got the look of someone who's traveled far to get here and whose journey is far from over. Confidence. The scavengers around here, they're faking it. You're the real deal. I don't know if you're bound for the old ruins, but in case you are, can you look into something? I'd do it myself, but of course, the Marauders would eat me alive. Looking for something out there. Been paying Sublight to help me, but they haven't made much progress. My husband, Jerome, died on Gorgon. I need you to get me his old hip flask. I gave it to him the day we signed our marriage contract, and he carried it wherever he went. I know it's still here. No point in denying it, he died on this rock, likely torn apart by marauders, unless he took care of himself on his own terms. I don't like to imagine what happened, but I know I have to accept it. You'd really do that for me? Law, and I'll bet you're worth 10 of those Sublight sprats. I don't have much, but if you help me, there's a little set aside for the occasion. Jerome used to drink with his buddies in a small kitchen opposite the maintenance shed. Might be a good place to check first.
That last drink you ordered had a punch to it. What did you say it was called?
Lunar Eclipse Mix.
You're not drunk. I'm drunk.
Sorry about Freddy and Trixie. When they're not fighting over salvage, they're fighting over the bed sheets at night. They like to blow off steam during work hours, but as soon as they clock out, they turn into a pair of kittens. Welcome to the Sprat Shack. First one's on the house, and I won't even water it down. What'll it be? Bottoms up. I assume you're here for salvage. Can't help you there. This ain't exactly a library. Most of my regulars are Sublight scavengers. They pick over the ruins of Gorgon, spend their earnings at the bar, and head back out the next day. Vicious cycle, but that's life. You're the first new face I've seen in a while. Spacer's Choice used to brew pharmaceuticals in these parts. That's why the asteroid smells like an old gym sock. They say Adrenatime came from here, just down the road at the old R&D lab. Very hush-hush back in the day. Roscoe might tell you more. He spent some time around here before the bar opened up, and I trust him well enough. There's always Leonora, my favorite customer over in the storage room on the second floor. Keeps to herself and always closes out her tab. He's been here since opening day. I think he told me he was some kind of journalist. He got left behind when Spacer's Choice pulled out. And I guess no one's coming to get him. Roscoe's drinks are on the house. We all know how it feels to get left behind. He'll be all right. He's with the family now, and we take care of our own. Nice lady. Been coming around a lot these past few months. She isn't with Sublight, but seems to know the lay of the land better than anyone. She spends most of her days drinking alone. I think she's looking to hire someone, if you're open to a side gig. No kidding. Ugh, what a shame. I owe her one on the house. When Spacer's Choice pulled out, a lot of people found themselves adrift. The ones with nowhere to settle ended up here. Sad but true. You know Lucky? Small asteroid. Now that you mention it, I thought I saw those two sharing stories over a pint. Didn't think twice about it. I don't speak ill of the dead, but Leonora deserves better company. That Lucky was no good for her. Lucky? Sure, I knew him. He could get a little dramatic at times, but he was a good guy. Heard he took on a dangerous job. Spent a lot of time coming and going from the Office of Creative Incubation, just down the road. That's where the top rungers at Spacer's Choice came up with slogans and marketing. Lucky never told me why it was so important. Awful shame about what happened to him. You really want to hear my story? Law, most everyone around here is sick to death of it by now. Last I saw of Lucky was a few days ago. I went outside for a smoke and a stroll, and I saw this wild canid dragging a bloody limb. So I kicked the canid, scared it off. I'm an animal lover myself, but canids have temperament issues you just can't breed out. Get this, the canid was chewing on an honest-to-law human arm. Lucky's arm. I'm a bartender. Attention to detail is my middle name. Anyway, the arm was clutching a phonograph that mentioned someone named Alex Hawthorne. I did some poking around, and this Hawthorne has a reputation among the salvagers who frequent the bar. So I packaged up the arm nice and tidy and sent it care of the Halcyon Parcel Service. They even gave me a discount on the hazardous waste removal stamp. No kidding. And now you're here? Colony feels smaller than you'd think some days. I'm glad I was here to see this confluence of events, you know? The stars really aligned on this one. And here I am, smack dab in the middle. I figured Hawthorne would want to know what happened to his pal. Help Lucky get his affairs in order, you know. Oh, I hate to see people go with unfinished business. Lay 'em on me, boss. I'm not going anywhere. Yes and no. The Sprat Shack used to be a shipping and receiving warehouse during the old Project Gorgon days. When Spacer's Choice pulled their guys off-world, Sublight moved in to salvage what we could, and they put me in charge. Yes and no. Rumor has it there's a Sprat wandering around the Groundbreaker, and he's the legal owner of the Sprat Shack. Hagen's idea. See, Hagen didn't want a paper trail that led back to her, so she gave the bar to the Sprat. If there were any legal problems with this place, the Sprat would do the time.
Hey, Sprats can be real dangerous. I once saw a Sprat cross a guy off. Well, not exactly. Guy I worked with choked on a Sprat bone while he was having his usual salt tuna for lunch.
Anyway, that's what the paperwork says. I don't make the rules. I know there's paperwork backing it up. You put enough stamps and staples on anything, I'm pretty sure it's legal by default. The beautiful thing is, no one could tell Matt Spratt apart from an ordinary vermin. I think that's kind of the point, to send the authorities on a wild Sprat chase. Never thought about that. Shit, someone could have eaten my boss. As far as business arrangements go, this one's a head-scratcher, but they say it's all above board, so that's what matters. Yes and no. We're doing a lot more than squatting. We're classing up the joint, keeping the riffraff outside where it belongs. They didn't even serve drinks until I arrived. Talk about wasted potential. Yes. And no. Again, that one was Hagen's idea. She told me that speaking in vague terms keeps you out of trouble. And I don't want any trouble in my place. Thirsty people come and go from all over the colony, mostly on the way to somewhere better. Some are well-connected, and not everyone pays with bits. That's how we get the unconventional goods anyhow. Sublight keeps us well-stocked with the essentials, by which I mean booze. Name your poison. No, the drinks aren't watered down. Don't know why everyone keeps asking. Or maybe a sugar sprat pie? Damn it. We're out of those.